What's up, y'all? Just another week here, man. Just another day, just chilling, spending the day watching, Overreaction Monday. All the shows I've seen them all. ESPN, First Take, First Things First, such and such. Day off. Hey, why not just chill, catch up on some of that type of stuff. Um, but this is like really just a little conversation I got to have with you fans in the NFC East, and in particular you Dallas Cowboy fans. Um, See, I'm never one of those types of fans that rides waves, you know, victim of recency bias, um, look at the team without a realistic perspective and context and all that kind of stuff. But most of y'all are, and I get it. Most of you are. That's pretty much all you got. Haven't been to a Super Bowl in many of your lifetimes. If you're a Cowboys fan that's under the age of 25, you've never seen real success. You never even experienced a championship game. None of that. So I kind of get it, the excitement that you're having. And listen, I don't want to rain on your parade or none of that. That's not what this is about. But I'm actually trying to help you guys to have a little bit perspective so that when the fall, the inevitable fall does come, that, it isn't too much of a blow. It don't hurt too bad. But judging right now or believing that your team is the best team in the league right now based off of like the first 2 weeks of football and looking at how other teams do against other teams is silly. It's really silly. And I'm going to explain to you why that is, and also explain to you why um, it is extremely unlikely that the Dallas Cowboys will make it further than the Philadelphia Eagles this year or in the foreseeable future unless some super wholesale changes are made on the part of the Dallas Cowboys. You see, I dropped a video last week talking about the differences between our franchises and the success that has happened over the years. And I've explained why right now the Philadelphia Eagles are in more what you will call a golden era, whereas the Dallas Cowboys are kind of like in a dark age period. You have little moments of light, but really you're kind of like in a dark age right now uh, with your coaches and your leadership and all of that. And there's one reason why the Philadelphia Eagles will go further, why they typically do go further, unless we're in rebuilds. Because really, the only time you guys do better than us in any season, sweep us or any of that, is because the Eagles are usually going through a rebuild during that time. Like, really think about it. If the Eagles aren't going through a rebuild, um, your team just isn't better. Your team doesn't do better, right? I mean, it just is what it is. But there's one reason, and it's culture. Culture. Um, I was watching Game Time today. The HBO series about the Los Angeles Lakers, and I know it's fictionalized, but there, what they had was a conversation between Jerry Buss and Red Auerbach. Red Auerbach was explaining something to Jerry Buss, where he said that, yeah, it's no doubt, you guys have put together a great team. And this is what I say to you: you put together a great team. But see, the great players, they come and they go. He said, what we have is something that stands the test of time, something that is lasting. And Jerry Buss was asking what? And he said, it's a culture. It's a culture that we have. And that's the difference between the modern day. I don't care about 1970s. That's 50 some years ago. And in the 1990s, you did have a culture that was established by Jimmy Johnson. But then your egotistical owner got in the way of letting that thing really flourish. And so what you had was like the fall of it. You were able to get one more championship with Barry Switzer because he kind of rode off of Jimmy Johnson's culture, but y'all could never reestablish it again. The difference between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Right now on the current roster, the Philadelphia Eagles have more mental toughness, more resilience, more battle testedness, and better leadership than the Dallas Cowboys do have. You have a guy in Dak Prescott who I believe, especially early on, as a rookie, had a lot of success and appeared to be a very clutch player at the time. But since then, Dak kind of lost it. It's for a number of reasons. Number one, there wasn't as much pressure on him. The team was built for Tony Romo. He kind of was riding that, and he had the help of Ezekiel Elliott. This is the thing you don't understand. The importance of Ezekiel Elliott to the career of Dak Prescott, to his mentality, how much easier Ezekiel Elliott made life for Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott failed a number of times, especially during his best seasons. I know a couple were cut short by injury, but he would get to the playoffs and lose. And what happens is every failure that happens to a person who isn't resilient and mentally tough, it takes a chunk out of them. It just creates just that little bit of self-doubt when you're in that situation. And you saw this manifest itself, in particular against the 49ers the last two seasons. Dak Prescott gets to a point where he kind of doubts himself. I really believe that. And this year, you'll get to see, does he have that? Is that still there or not? So now what's happening, many of you are saying Micah Parsons is now the new leader. This is the new thing that Skip Bayless is saying, that the leader is now Micah Parsons in the defense. Really? Now, let me explain to you. I love Micah Parsons as a player. Like I told most of you, I was a fan of his before I would say any of you, because I am a Penn State fan. Micah Parsons was a star at Penn State. A star. I wanted the Eagles to draft him. Though I am not angry that we took Devontae Smith. I don't regret that for a second. But I like Micah Parsons. But in terms of battle-testedness, experience, and winning, what has Micah Parsons ever won at any level? What has he ever won at any level? That's the question. So for him, it's also an experiment. We know he's the superior athlete. He's maybe the most athletic player in the NFL. He could be. Could be the most freakish athlete in the NFL. He's at least top 3 to top 5 in that department. I don't think he's more freakish than Myles Garrett, or we'll see. I don't even know if he's more freakish than the guy we got, Jalen Carter, who I'm going to talk about in a minute. But he's up there. Tends to be up there. All right? But what has he won? And when you look at the team of guys that you have, how many of these guys have ever won anything at this level? What guys can you lean on to say they won anything at this level? Now, I can't really go through your whole roster to determine how many guys you have that may have won at the collegiate level. But I know on the Eagles team, on the Philadelphia Eagles team, we have an offensive line and a defensive line of older guys who in 2017 done it, been there before in big games and came through, who've also shown us they know what to do in the big stage in the Super Bowl. And clown all you want about, losing the Super Bowl last year. Say, look, 2 teams make it there. The Chiefs were a team that was just as experienced as we are, with guys that are even more experienced than we are. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. They were actually the veteran team in that situation. And we lost to them, which is something you can't claim. You claim to even get there. So you don't get to really laugh at it when your team was watching from the couch. Okay? You need to figure out how to get to the championship game. But I'll tell you this. Our team is led by a quarterback who knows what it feels like to play in the Super Bowl, who knows what it feels like to get to a championship game and win it. A quarterback who has played in multiple championship games at the collegiate level, who, yes, of course, was in one, lost one to Deshaun Watson, got there again. We know the famous benching took place. But the next season, they got there again. He came in for Tua. When Tua got hurt, and got his redemption and won the national championship. On the defensive side, we got young boys who know what it's like to win, know what it's like to be in big games, to play in collegiate championships, to get there and win. And some of these are the most freakish guys we got. Nolan Smith, I hope to see more of, because I think he's a potential baby Micah. Jalen Carter, who is the beastliest player. And I can't wait till we play Dallas, just so y'all can see that firsthand. Jordan Davis, another baby monster beast, who's off to a crazy season this year. If only the Eagles would give him more snaps. Okay? Add that to the Kelseys and the Lane Johnsons. All right? And this is what I'm telling you. And you can sit there and front all y'all want. When ish gets real, and the Eagles team with those guys who've been there in war and in battle go up against you guys who you can sit there and front all you want about beating the damn Jets and beating the Giants, teams that I know the Eagles are going to beat, will beat just as well. Okay? Do they really have the mental toughness that it's going to take? For real, the mental toughness to win shootouts, to score, to make the right decisions, to be smart, to throw ego to the side and just run the ball if you have to, for example. Do they have guys like Devontae Smith on that team who in a championship game scored over 200 yards passing? I know you got CeeDee Lamb, but was he ever won at the collegiate level? His best year in college was with my quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Let's keep it a beam. Let's keep it 100. Which team is mentally tougher? If you understand about football, oh yeah, that's going to matter. Which team is mentally tougher? If you saying Dallas, you're a liar. And you know you're lying. It's all cap. You know that's cap. And before I go, I just want to address this old nonsense that you guys are on right now. Don't get mad at talking heads, the Joey Taylors of the world and Chris Cantys of the world and the Stephen A. Smiths and the Shannon Sharps of the world who doubt you. The Dallas Cowboys are like the Philadelphia 76ers. Got Joel Embiid, had James Harden, had Ben Simmons, had all these guys. But what? When they get to the second round, they can't get past it. Not mentally tough enough. Okay? And as much as I love my Philadelphia 76ers, the media, they doubt them. Am I going to bitch about them doubting the Sixers? No. Because I know it's on my team to prove them wrong. Don't get mad at people who doubt your team, who watch your team at home lose to the 49ers with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard and that offensive line and Michael Parsons out there. What makes you think they should believe in that damn team? Because you beat Zach Wilson? Y'all dudes is crazy. That's why people call you delusional. I can go back to last year. What was the end result of your team and my team? Philadelphia Eagles last year saw us was in the Super Bowl. So if we got a little bit of a hangover, we got to get some rust off. At least it's understandable. Your team was watching the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, the game before that, the championship game, your team was watching that. That's how that year ended. But throughout the season, you think the Eagles always look better than the Cowboys every week? No. Let's go back to week 8 last year. Dallas Cowboys. It was either week 8 or week 9. I don't know when y'all damn bye week was. All right. Y'all put up 49. Y'all beat the Bears 49-29 that week. In the same week, the Eagles struggled to beat the Texans 29-17. So what do you think? Dallas is better than the Eagles just because that week y'all put up 49? That's how you think? That's how you follow football? Yeah, then y'all in week 10. Look at this. Dallas Cowboys, 40 points, Minnesota 3. Whoa! You look like the greatest team ever. The same week, the Eagles beat the Colts 17-16 by 1 point. So what that mean? Because y'all scored 40 that week and we scored 3, and they scored y'all beat somebody 43, we beat somebody 17-6. That means your team better. That's the way you think. Do you think that's football? Do you think that's a way to judge a team? Because, all right, yeah, we smashed somebody this week, and y'all just barely beat somebody that week. That means your team better? Hey, I got to look at y'all like that. Oh, then what happened in week 12? Whoa, y'all beat the Colts 54-19. Look at that. Oh, my God. 54-19. And we only beat the Colts by 1 point. So, I mean, Dallas better than the Eagles. That's how a lot of y'all think, this elementary little schoolboy, no real football knowledge having way of analyzing games. Bruh, we don't respect that. There can be times, all types of times in a season, where your team looks more impressive than another team at a certain point in the year. But that's why you got 17 weeks, bro. 17 weeks. And we gonna see y'all. And that's when it's gonna matter. What happens when we see y'all? Who's mentally tougher? Who got the better culture? Cowboys.